Good day, body language fans, and welcome to another episode of the Body Language Advantage. Today, we are continuing the villain era with the one and only Hannibal Lecter. Of course, there is a lot of versions of this man, from the novels to the movies and so forth. We will be focusing on arguably the most famous, which is The Silence of the Lambs, that came out in 1991, and of course, played by Anthony Hopkins. Quick backstory, he won a Oscar for this movie for Best Supporting Actor, if I'm not mistaken. And if I do say so myself, it is definitely warranted. Now, we are going to focus on Hannibal Lecter today, mainly because of the amazing body language that he presents. There's a lot going on here. It's not just in the manner in which he speaks, although that is the focus of his body language for this video. We're looking for tonality, we're looking for micro expressions, we're looking for the positioning of his body and the manner in which he moves and focuses on certain words as they roll off of the tongue. I hope you guys enjoy this one. There's a lot to have a look at here. I've got about 3 or 4 scenes that we can get through on this one, and I'll do my best to analyze it for you. And let's hit it.
Dr. Lecter, my name is Clarice Starling. May I speak with you?
Okay. So first of all, you can see the very rigid stance in which that he presents himself. Of course, he doesn't have a lot of places to go here, but he's standing up straight, hands at his sides, legs together, almost military-esque, standing to attention. Eyes right out at Clarice, and very intense staring, very cold, steely eyes. Let's continue.
You're one of Jack Crawford's, aren't you?
Okay, so the immediate small little smile, and he's already trying to poke out at Clarice, trying to find out exactly who she is, who she works for, and so forth.
I am, yes.
Slow blink.
May I see your credentials?
May I see your credentials? He's very formal here. He's not revealing too much about himself. He's immediately putting the pressure onto Clarice. He hasn't moved an inch. Very, very respectful with his tonality. The slow blink can be caused from a slight irritation because he knows he's got to go through these steps now. He's not revealing his true intentions almost. So he actually gets annoyed with himself, and the slow blink reveals that. Let's continue. So as you can see there, let's do a little bit of analyzing here. So the first thing to mention is the way that he harpers on words. As I said in the beginning, it's all with his tonality and the manner in which he will roll certain words. I'll give you an example. In your everyday life, if you really want someone to understand and to listen to a perspective or a certain point that you're trying to bring across, you emphasize certain words. Take, for example, a teacher at school or a lecturer, for example. If you want your students to listen to you attentively, you don't just talk to them in the manner in which I'm speaking to you now. Of course, it's important to bring your point across without harping too much on words, but if you want to teach them something and you want to harp on a certain word, so for example, you're teaching someone about, let's say, nutrition. Certain foods are good for you. So you'll go, bananas are great for potassium after you train. They are important for repairing of muscle strains, for example, things like that. You're going to focus on a singular word. So you go, bananas, small little pause. These are good for these reasons. And then you harper on that word a little bit. You let it roll off the tongue slowly. Then you move over into your point. But as you can see here with the facial expressions, of course, they aren't wide, they're almost squinting. He's trying to read Clarice here. You've got a relatively genuine smile. It's more slightly towards the one side than it is towards the other. So it's almost more of a smirk. But there is a level of genuineness here, as you can see with the wrinkles over across the eyes here. Again, that could be something that he's perfected over a long period of time. Because as they do say in the movie, they don't actually have a word for the type of monster that he is. So he's a master of body language. He's a master of facial cues and analyzing, hence why he doesn't blink often when he is analyzing people. But let us continue. Okay, so he's just revealed his knowledge of the situation that is currently going on, as well as poking more, let's say, fun at her and the FBI, almost as if to imply that I am smarter than all of you, and you're not going to get what you think it is that you're going to get. So it's one of the few times where he actually raises his eyebrows, where you can get the crinkles here, and opening his mouth slightly to emphasize more of his words. And guys, I know there might be a few of you that might correct me in saying that both of them were not in the room with the filming of the scene. Now that I am completely aware of, and that actually just shows both of their acting and their body language even more so. It's even more difficult to perform in the manner in which they are right now. So we are going to pretend as if the situation is as real as possible.
You know why he's called Buffalo Bill?
Again, tonality, focusing on the, you know why he's called Buffalo Bill. He wants you to focus on exactly what he's saying now. He's creating intrigue with his words so that you will listen attentively.
Please tell me. The newspapers won't say.
Well,
And although I did mention that she used the smile and stuff to deceive him, he does exactly the same thing constantly. He almost keeps a slight grin on his face permanently as he's talking to you. Now see if you guys can notice the difference in the way I'm speaking right now. So I'm talking to you with my mouth as per normal. I know that there's no one around in the room right now. I know that all you can hear is my voice. Now, I'm not going to deceive you. I'm going to put a smile on my face and listen to how it sounds differently. So I'm not going to deceive you. I'm going to help you to understand exactly what it is that I am saying in this video, the analyzing of the video. So that is me right there now. I was speaking through a smile. It does change the manner in which you bring words across, as well as the visual aspect that it changes. And I did it just then again. Very difficult to pick up through audio. Visually, of course, when you're in public, as soon as someone smiles at you, you feel at ease. If someone's glaring at you, they're not using their mouth or whatever to express any form of emotion, you immediately pick up on that. And it upsets you, or it'll make you a little bit cautious of that person. So when you smile, especially while you're talking, it can make the person feel more open to share. And that is his intention. Okay. So now it is in my opinion, the climax to the introduction of the two of them together. He's done his analyzing. He's listened to her. He's caught her on a lie. He's caught her trying to manipulate him with her smiling and with her acumen towards him. He has been polite and seen how she's reacted. He's watched her facial cues. He's already, of course, smelt what he smelt, which gives him an inside look as to, maybe what she enjoys. And now his demeanor is going to completely change, and he's going to keep that steely-eyed look on her now as he verbally attempts to destroy her. Watch how his face changes.
In your cheap shoes, you look like a rube.
Okay, so there was a small, I didn't quite catch that, but there was a small little frown that went inwards there when he mentioned, "Do you know what you look like?" And it was a reaction of, "I see through what you're trying to present to me." Let's continue though.
A well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste.
So she's clenching her jaw quite often. You can catch it over here. You can catch it over there. Let me choose a different color. My apologies. So you can see it over there. Saw it on this side. There was also the shrug as well. The shoulders dropped as she took a deep breath, because she realizes that she hasn't achieved much from the situation with this conversation, and it's almost a defeated look. You can see the whole posture as well. The whole posture, if you could see her back, it would be kind of bending forward like this, because there is a level of, I think I've messed up this. And again, the focus on the FBI. Now, he's mentioning all of these things that he apparently sees about her. And he knows that the majority of them might be true because he's figured out exactly where she's from. As well as, the fact that she's a female and she's young and she's relatively good looking. So he's playing on all of these things. And the more scenarios that he mentions, it is a tactic that real FBI agents and detectives will use when they are interviewing someone that they suspect of murder or of a serious crime, where they immediately come into the room when they're interviewing them, and they're the good cop. It's here's some coffee, and there's a lot of smiling going on, and there's a little bit of wanting to relate to the person, and so on and so forth. And then once you've gathered the information, once you've seen the difference between lying and truth, or at least what you perceive is one or the other, then after that you make your observations while staring at the person to see if any of those cues hit. Is what I said there true? Is what I said here a lie? Am I upsetting you with this? So you're going to gather more information here because you've already established what is a lie, what is deception throughout this small, this is just a couple of minutes that they've been introduced here, but there's already so much to work with in terms of the way that he's presented himself. But now the mask has fallen away, and you see the true face of Hannibal Lecter. This is literally as close as he could possibly get to seeing her. I mean, the window, let's just call it, is right here. His face is practically pressed up against it. He's staring right at her, actually staring down at her rather than, the polite manner in which he was presenting himself towards her slightly earlier. And then, as I mentioned, the snarl. And now that smile has turned into devious intent. And he's in a sense trying to wound her here by the things that he's mentioning, while also trying to gather the information. Sorry, I went on a bit long there, but I think there were some good points. Quick gulp of slight anxiety and anxiousness by Clarice. And yeah, I mean, she's a lot more expressionful, of course. Eyebrows going up again, the eyes slightly squinting. Again, she does this thing where she talks out the side of her mouth almost with a half smile, because she, in a sense, probably has been caught off guard because some of those things that he's mentioned are true. Right. So, we're going to stop it there, guys. Listen, thank you so much. We have been doing this for an hour. Just a quick summary of Hannibal Lecter. His advantages: tonality, the manner in which he sees with his eyes. But now we all see with our eyes, but he sees into you. Initially, when he meets you, he wants to psychoanalyze your expressions, the manner in which you present yourself, the mask that we all wear when we leave the house. He wants to see that mask and then break through that mask to get through to the truth. That is a lot of psychologists do that, of course. He just takes it to the extreme level because it gets the outcomes a lot quicker for him. The manner in which he stands is very military-esque. It's non-threatening, but that doesn't mean that he is not able to change that at will. He is very aware of the manner in which he presents himself. He knows how to make himself non-threatening, as I mentioned, and to get the information that he seeks. He emphasizes on words, as I mentioned before, which I think is one of the best lessons that you guys can take forward in your own lives. When you want someone to really listen to you and focus on something, then you put an emphasis on it. It doesn't mean you drag the words, it just means you put an emphasis on it. Drag, like that, so that you get people's attention onto what you are saying. There are times where his body language betrays him, but it's few and far between. But guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this one. This was a fun one for me. It's a character that I had a lot of fun with myself, watching the movie a couple of times. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Please don't forget to put your recommendations in the comments of the next villain that you would like to see. And I'll do my best to put it forward. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button. It does help me a lot, guys. I'd like to keep the channel going and growing. And I hope to see you all again soon. Cheers.